Evaluation 3 is all about what have you learned from your audience feedback. So at the start of the year, before creating my music video, we had to work in a group. So I worked with a friend of mine called Lauren, and we decided to create firstly a survey to get to know what people like to see in music videos. Within that survey we got a lot of answers on what people like to see, such as whether they like lyrics being on the screen, whether they like a lot of narrative, a lot of performance, if they like concept, just to give us a regular idea of what they kind of want to see from any music video. So before we even chose our genre, we'd know what they'd want to see from us. So the chosen genre was in fact the indie genre. So after that we started working up on a focus group. So within that focus group we got our whole class to participate. So we got answers on how we could carry on our storyboard, how to design our costumes, what mise-en-scène to go for, what locations to go for, and any other ideas that they wanted to give out on how to create our music video. I would also say the indie genre is getting quite popular recently, so it has allowed me to get quite a mass audience, which is great because I'm going to get more feedback and it's allowing more people to look at my work. After creating my music video, I've officially finished, so I decided to create another survey and post it onto my social media so that I could try and get some answers on what people think of my music video and my ancillary texts. So on Facebook I decided to post my survey and ask if anyone could kindly fill in my survey, watch my music video, look at my 2 posters that I created, my digipack and the website that I also created to try and get some feedback. After creating my first survey, I noticed that my target audience was the ages 16 to 25 mainly. Another website that I used was YouGov. So what YouGov allowed me to do was get to know my target audience. So on YouGov I decided to search in artists such as Imagine Dragons, Arctic Monkeys, Lana Del Rey, any other indie bands or artists, and get to know the kind of people that listen to their music, so I knew exactly what kind of audience I'd also get. And I realised that my audience also wanted to see a mixture of narrative and performance, which is exactly what I have made in my music video. They also like the ideas of the artist being on the screen and the quality to be good. So what we decided to do was choose the camera that we are most comfortable with and that we believe is good quality. So I went for the Canon EOS 1300D. This is because we're really familiar with it, we used it previously, no one complained about the quality, and I do believe that it is a really good camera to use. I also would say that my target audience is more in the C2 DE category. This is because no one's got a high skill job by the age of 25 really. It's just kind of for the teenagers and everyone similar to my age as I'm 18. I would also say for the 4 Cs, my audience is of reformers. This is because they're quite anti-materialistic and socially aware, because they have noticed what my message is within my music video, which is about alcohol awareness. So looking at my new survey that I created on social media, the first question that I did was, what is your gender? So 36.36% were male and 63.64% were female. I would personally say that that is slightly biased, only because I do have more female friends on social media, so if anything it could have been half and half. The next question that I asked was, what is your what is your age? So what I got was 9.09% for 17 and below, 63.64% for 18 to 24 year olds, which is obviously what my target audience was at first that I created. So obviously the ones watching, they were bang on what I was aiming to target for, to watch my music video. I had 0% for 25 to 34 year olds, and then I had 18.18% for 35 to 44 year olds, and then I had 9.09% for 45 to 54. The next question was, do you think that my work represents the indie genre well? I believe that this is a really important question because I really needed to know whether I did represent that genre across quite obviously, because that was obviously the genre that I was chosen, so I needed to go for the codes and conventions of it. So I did end up getting 100% saying yes, which I'm really happy about because I feel like I've achieved what exactly I needed to do. My next question was, what was or were your favourite part or parts of the music video? So I had quite a lot of different responses. One of the first responses was the text at the bottom. I'll also agree with that because having the text on the bottom of some of the scenes was something that was really fun and new to do. I never did it before and I feel like it made it look really modern. They also said that they liked the change of colours. Somebody else said that Russ singing with the boys behind him made him look professional, which was exactly my aim because of the star theory. The response was the use of the two-tone effect, the red and the blue. I love the overlay of the two scenes in one, the watch and the alcohol bottles. So the red and the blue was to show the two different people, like the anger side and the more calmer side, because blue represents more like peacefulness and then red can connotate more anger but also love, which was also what my aim was by having Tom being red so that he could represent them two connotations of the colour. Another response that I got was the fast-paced cuts on the beats. I did try very hard to try and get them bang on time to the beats. Another response that I got was the train scene. The train scene was simply showing Tom at the train station and then the train comes and then you can see him through the windows of the train and then all of a sudden he disappears through the window, which some people may notice, but if not, I decided to show at the end of the train where it's left. That there is no one there, just in case it wasn't too obvious. For me, it was obvious, but when I did show some of my friends, they weren't really convinced because they feel like too many people wouldn't pay that much attention to detail. I also had feedback of saying that they liked the whole story from start to end because it was very clear. Some people liked the ending. A lot of the responses were that they did like the colour within the performance. And then some that actually went into the camera detail. They said that they really liked the waterproof camera and they liked the train station with the clock that you're layering and how it's a time lapse, and they also liked the mother and the phone calls because the shots kept changing on time with the beat. The next question was, what could I improve on my music video? I feel like this was a really vital question to ask my audience because if I was to do this again or if I had a chance to improve it once more, I could go into this and actually try and improve what the audience have telling me that they didn't really enjoy. So one of the first three comments was to add something more unique. I did try my best to add something unique by having the text and the overlaying and the like different sorts of colours. I know that the majority of this has been done by actual music artists, however, due to my age and the facilities that I have, I don't believe I could have made something that unique. I would say one of the unique things in my music video is one of my shots where Tom falls back and then in the next scene he falls back into his chair, because I haven't seen that many artists do that. I see it a lot in films but not in music videos. But I did try my best, and one thing that I would personally say that I could improve is my performance. When it's just simple performance without the red and the blue tones, where it's just like warm tones, I feel like I could have done something more with it so it was a little bit more eye-catching, I'd say. Another comment that I got was to perhaps make the performance look a little bit more enjoyable, because at the end the lads look like they have enjoyed themselves. I completely agree with that comment. I did want to make it look professional, that's why I kind of made it look more enjoyable towards the end. I would say, looking at my behind the scenes, you can see that we all did enjoy ourselves creating the music video, but because my aim was to try and make it serious and like it's an actual band, I didn't really make it look too fun, which I do regret, but I also don't, because I feel like I have ended up representing the indie genre well, because the indie genre, like bands, especially male bands, are quite serious and get on with the job rather than messing around too much. I also have a really long response from a lecturer from Derby University, and he said that generating music videos edits are a little quicker, and I completely agree with that. However, within my song there isn't that many fast beats, so whether I could improve on how fast my cuts were, I would want to do that. He also said, a good trick to understand editing pacing is to time shots on professional productions to see the average time between edits, which is exactly what I was talking about previously, as I remember this comment. He also said, working with bands can be difficult, but sometimes they need to be directed in the same way that you would with any other actor, i.e. there were a few shots in which the guitar and drummer looked a little bored or self-conscious. And I do really agree with that. They were very self-conscious, and it was hard trying to get them out of that little barrier that they were in. He also said this can distract from the emotional impact of the story you are trying to tell. He also did message me saying that he completely understood the storyline that I had and that he could see the message. One thing he did tell me that I could have improved on was by having a poster to show alcohol awareness to try and make it a little bit obvious. He also said, similarly, the breaking rope was a nice metaphorical image, which is exactly what I was aiming for, but it also looked a little bit jokey in the shot, which I completely agree with, because the lads couldn't take it that much seriously. I think that to improve this, I could have taken the shot outside so they had more room, because the studio was really tight, and I could have used a real rope rather than loads of pieces of string, because it didn't really look right. Another thing that he said was, one thing that many students do when using dorms or residential halls for narrative video is to leave the spaces too sparsely decorated, i.e. bare walls. So I completely understand with that, because that could have shown more of my characters' personalities, which I never thought of really. Another thing he said was, a few posters and some clutter can make the setting seem more natural. The use of the train station name might be too specific, i.e. location shots are often constructed as could be anywhere spaces. Another two comments that I got were that one person thought that I could have promoted the alcohol awareness thing a little more in the video, which I agree with again, because it would have made it more obvious to a lot more people, because I feel like half people do get it, half of the other people don't really see it that much. Looking at Stuart Hall's theory about the dominant reading, the oppositional and the negotiated, I would say my dominant reading is about the alcohol awareness and seeing like what it can do and how it can affect people's health and their relationship and peers around them. My negotiated reading would possibly be, I think, that some people might think it's okay to drink alcohol. They might see that you can drink it as responsibly, but obviously not go overboard like the character did in my music video, where he ended up losing his partner. I would also say that my oppositional reading would be that alcohol's perfectly fine, and that perhaps maybe my brothers are in fact friends instead, or they could be the ones that are in a relationship and it's the girl that's in the way. The next question that I asked was to see if people could see a band identity that I created, and if so, how. I believe that this is also important because it was to promote the band obviously and get to know them and stuff like that. So everyone basically said yes. Everyone said that they could see it within my costume and setting. You could see the identity by looking at the online presence of the band showing on the website. They also said that it made a good backstory and made the band look realistic in society, which I'm really happy with, because I did try to make it as modern to our society right now as possible, so that more people could understand it and more relate to it as well. The theme works well. You've clearly thought through elements such as the clouds theme and the photo theme, which was it made me really happy, because I could see that they saw my visions the same as I saw them. Good clear shots of the singer that show style and personality. Yes, showing each member with different colours in the band logo, especially with posters and digipack. It all flows well and looks like the band actually exists. which made me really happy again. Another few comments were, yes, it was fun, normal everyday kind of people, something everyone can relate to again. The poster and digipack gives the band a unique identity as well as the colours you've given to each band member. That everyone also liked the logo and how it was on every single product, and the use of colour was perfect because it was shown in each product. My final question was what is your opinion on my poster, digipack and website for my band? So a few comments were saying that they were positive and some were saying that they didn't really like a little bit of it. So one of the comments were that they like the images, it all works together, it's clearly indie, they're all really eye-catching and encouraging the customer to purchase the new band or go to the concert, and the good use of colours, good information. The website is really eye-opening, really professional and clean cut. The poster looks appealing because it looks genuine by the photo reel of the band, and the logo looks really good. The digipack looks aesthetically pleasing for the genre of the band. The more artistic band shots worked best. The single band member photos seemed a little bit bland without a backdrop or context. Outdoor shots or action shots or something with all the band illustrating a band dynamic is a good idea. I really like this comment because I never thought of it at the time. I do regret now taking some photographs for my digipack and like my posters to take them outside. I never thought of it at the time. I was more focused on making it look very clean and professional. The primary colours on the poster and front cover seem a little out of keeping with the black and white theme, however I can see what the aim was. The website is really nice, it was good navigated and not cluttered, which I'm also really happy with because my aim was to try and keep it clean and easy to use. Another comment was that it was all very personal to the band, it was all very good, each of them go together, one doesn't look random. Good colour scheme and good use of social media. It's as if they actually had use of all the methods. Very realistic band. Could be real, won't have to do any work at least, which was a really good comment again. The new album poster looks a little odd. Would have been better without band members on it. The tour dates poster, too much colour on it. It distracts from looking at the tour dates. This was an interesting comment, because I haven't seen that many posters without the actual band on it unless it just has the logo. I feel like because of my age and because I'm doing A-levels, I don't feel like many of the examiners and my teachers would understand why my band isn't on the poster. So you kind of have to make it really obvious to try and get the marks. So I understand if my band obviously was real and they were famous and they'd have been in the industry for ages, so it would have been so easy to do. But for now I do feel like it would have made my work look a little bit less like I knew what I'm doing. Another comment was, I think that it is distinctive to your band and gives them an identity. It allows the audience to get better insight to the band. And the last comment was, perfect, I love it all. I also did have a comment on YouTube, which I'll find right now. The person commented on my music video. It says, "Hi Evelina Stefaniak, we liked your video of Amsterdam by Imagine Dragons. Great cinematography, colour editing, creative editing, lighting, lip sync, music interpretation, overall creativity, production design and special effects. Looking forward to seeing more of your videos, Takiti." I'm also really happy with that comment on my music video because it's allowed me to get another sort of feedback, and it's made me realise that some people do actually like my work and that I could go further within the media industry. So overall, I do believe that my audience feedback has allowed my work to progress. Because of doing this also last year, I feel like I've gained a lot of experience and a lot of advice on how to make my work this year even better, and I would personally say that I think I have improved because I've managed to get into it more, I've managed to make it a lot easier for myself, less stress, and I feel like I've learnt something from last year that I can take on to this year. So the idea of having audience feedback, I do feel like does help you progress, and if I was or anyone was to want to go further in the media industry, I do believe that audience feedback is really important with helping you do that.